Hi. So you wanted to know how to improve like the pros, how to improve the fastest possible. Is it just grinding free play? Is it just grinding ranked all day? And yeah, definitely it is putting in the hours for sure. But I have some things slightly different to present to you, and that's the overall method, the thought process behind it. So if you take a look at the self-regulated learning theory, then you can kind of establish a method from that. And just overall, it has a forethought phase, a performance phase, and a self-reflection phase. And these three phases, they consist of before the task, during the task, after the task. It's pretty straightforward. And just to give a little bit of info ahead of time, what high performance in one of the studies I read, it was actually musicians who practiced, but I think it still applies to esports just the same. And what the high performance did was they set more specific goals, they acted with more strategic thinking, they regulated more, and they made more strategic attributions and adaptations following failure. So overall, what it led to was the practice being more emotionally satisfying. So if we look into Rocket League specifically, then we can just check out free play. Like in free play, you could boom the ball around, or you could boom the ball around with a goal. Like, what is your goal? Maybe it is getting a soft first touch and then a long clear, and then a soft touch again, etc. So that's kind of a method. And then we could look at the forethought phase, where what is important here? It's probably a few things that come to mind, like we're gonna need drifting a lot. So that's something we should have in mind. We are probably gonna set boost to limited because we do want the pathing, and the boost pathing will make like the overall rotation and movement just a slightly bit more awkward, but also more realistic. And we also can think about, why do we do this? Like, why are we spending our time with this? Even if that's your goal, maybe it's to become the best Rocket League player of all time. Maybe it's simply because you want to beat your friends and be better than them. But that just establishing that is a really good first step in the forethought phase. And the second phase, the performance phase, of course, we want to self-control, and we want to self-observe, and we want focused attention, we want willpower. What does it mean in a Rocket League focus? Well, every once in a while, stop and actually think about, what are you doing? Then ask yourself, what in my environment can help me? Like, are you listening to music? Would you be listening to music in a competitive environment as well? If not, match the competitive environment. Is there something that is taking away attention? Is your phone near, for example? Or is this getting boring? All of these aspects is something that you should think about. And then when we go to a more technical approach, then you should be thinking about the method, of course. Like, what inputs are you giving? How are you getting the power? In this case, we would be asking, which direction are you flipping into the ball? Are you side flipping, like away from the ball? Are you flipping into the ball? What is giving you more power? And what is helping you really get those sharp turns, those really effective soft touches, and then the long booms? And figuring that out is a huge first step. Let me extend this as well. We have Jorius currently playing the major, just lost. Currently recording the video in the break, actually. And he was one to say he played solo duels, so 1v1 a lot. And he just went for stuff. And the same applies here. Like, what am I doing? What is working well? Is the last touch of my air dribble really beating opponents? Is the recovery an issue, or is that actually one of my strengths? And these questions you need to ask yourself. What is working? What is not working? And why is that? And how can I take something away from that? And that last step, that how to take it away, that's also the part of the third process, the self-reflection. Again, these things we thought about during the performance, they kind of go hand in hand with the third phase, at least for us. Technically, you could separate those, but then again, it's a training environment where we want to adjust a lot in Rocket League with free play. You could also use a lot of different plugins like the free play checkpoint, where you can rewind, stop, and set a checkpoint. And you can already see where I'm going here, right? You see the issue, you see the problem, you repeat it, you find out what works, and then that's what elevates you to the next level. And that's really what it's all about. Also, I mean, of course, it's always about challenging yourself. If you're not in the correct area of the Yerkes-Dodson law, which states that your pressure and performance form an inverted U-curve, and in the middle you will have your optimal performance. On one side you will have it's just too hard, it's frustrating, makes no sense. On the other side it's boring. So you want to find the middle ground here, and that all the time. And that's also part of the performance and self-reflection and forethought, because if you're not going to make your training challenging, you're going to get bored. It's going to be too easy, and it's not going to be fun, and it's not going to propel you to the next level. So it really is about putting in the hours, but then again, it's also putting it in valuable hours. Another example is you could grind all night, let's say 1 to 5 a.m., but you're probably going to get better if you have a good sleeping schedule, and then you actually sit down with full focus, well rested, and you take your breaks and you recover well. Those aspects out of the game are super important as well. Let me check my notes real quick. Yeah, one last question I can give you is, what's predicting your improvement? Look at your training and ask yourself, was it good training? Why is that? What made it good training? What shows me that my training is successful? And not just the external factors, but the internal factors. What shows you that you are happy with your training? And make it about not MMR, make it about something you can see or feel that you do. Just you, that has to do with simply you. I really hope that helps. Might just slightly edit this video so I can get the Yerkes-Dodson law and these 3 phases in. And yeah, if you have any more questions, let me know. Otherwise, feel free to subscribe and have a great day. Thank you very much for watching.